told you this guy's a genius.
Self-proclaimed, maybe.
Well, as long as it works for him.
Exactly my point.
Awesome. Alrighty then. Okay, let's talk about Zen and the philosophy of Zen. It's trying to be comfortable in every situation. Now, what that means is comfortable. It's easy to be comfortable at home. Super easy. It's really comfortable to be home. It's nice, it's warm, right? There's most of the stuff that I need is there. I've got food, I've got water, I've got things that can keep me alive. And then I leave the house and I meet people and I have no idea who you are. And I'm not sure why I feel aggression from people. Okay, I think the problem I have is that if I meet people, it's not that I feel aggression. I feel it is an act of violence if you try to change the way I am. Because how hard can I struggle to keep you alive? If you don't know how to fight by yourself, then I think nature is gonna, it's either going to keep you alive or it's going to destroy you, right? I mean, nature does nurture you, but we all have to acknowledge that winter exists. And winter is a time of desolation, while summer is like really lush and really nice. Winter is like the pit. It's the trough. It's probably the time with the highest suicide rates. It's like fear. It's like, I don't know, it's like warmongering. You sit at home in the isolation of your space and there's nobody, right? There's nobody and you just go insane, it just feels so lonely. Most of the days you just spend on your own in dark thoughts. And that's then what you call a depression, And I rather do things like this. And the problem I have is that if I spend time with other people, I just have to realize I don't like you, man. I've been telling you for years. There are people that I've been telling for years they should just go hiking barefoot, but they don't want to. And you say, yeah, I've been trying. I don't give a shit how much you've been trying, because every time we speak, it's just a bunch of lies. I don't know who you are. I mean, I've had once a young man in my apartment, and I thought, he just wanted to have sex with me. I'm just saying, people are weird. People don't really know who they are or where they come from. If they see you and they like you, they kind of want to destroy you. That's the crazy part. They don't want you to be the way you are. Then they say, yeah, they do, but you could say, well, they make it a challenge. I'm constantly on the verge of giving up on everyone I know and just leaving this place because this is hell. And it's probably the best place to create a heaven. But how do you turn a devil or a demon into an angel? That is literally, because, now it's about Zen, and now it's about black and white, and now it's about the darkness, and the light. So there's a sun, the sun will cast a shadow, as big as whatever the sun is shining on. Now I have to see myself as this kind of a character, right? I mean, this is a method This is a method that is being considered as dissociation, which means I learn to live in a state of dissociation, which in other words is, you know, some people call it the self, the higher self, the true self, the real me, and some people call it, you know, the observer. So you're trying to live in the observer. So as whoever this is, whoever you're listening to, which, you know, if I film myself, I actually see who I am. But not everybody sees who I am because, you know, they see me as, yeah, I'm jealous. They see me as, you're an asshole. They see me as, you represent everything that I can never have. And that's then where people try to misunderstand the role they have in their life. Because we're talking about places like communes, a community. Who is going to raise awareness for the necessity of communities and communes that basically live in peace and harmony, to be a sanctuary for the entire society? But these places can never, these places can never be tourist attractions. Because if it turns into a tourist attraction, then it becomes a money-making thing. And then all kinds of weird things are gonna creep in and it's gonna change the whole place. I mean, just think of Amsterdam, which completely opened its doors to tourism. And it's incredible that it still has such a good vibe. I mean, this is basically, at the moment for me, when I think about it, but that's of course also with a lot of distance, it seems to me like a good place. But I also ran away from there. And in the end, I'm still here. So the question is, am I still trying to make the jump? Am I still trying to make the jump and get to this place? What I realize is I am afraid of this city. Question, am I afraid of all cities? Well, there is fear creeping in from the outside world. Now, what does that mean? I mean, there are places where you can feel safe. I don't feel safe here. I'm just saying, I don't feel safe here. Whether that has to do with my lifestyle, with the thoughts I'm having, because I am dealing with topics such as fear and anger. I'm trying to understand them. And the more people watch my content, the more hate is going to come into my direction. That is the concept of channeling. People who are afraid will start to spend time with my content, and their fear is going to channel into me. Which is why I have to learn to be relaxed. Because until now, nobody has harmed me. But that's the problem with paranoia. I don't know if that state can maintain itself, because I mean, what do I have to give? Do people really like me? Am I actually evil? You know, the light and the shadow. The light and the shadow. There's so much to say. What I'm trying to do is create content that relaxes the masses. And this is why all I can be at the moment, apparently, is just a figurehead. I'm just a representative. And you cannot have me for yourself. You cannot have me for yourself, because I'm a representative of something that is bigger than anything I could ever understand. Because what is my contribution? I have turned myself into a public figure. Now, everybody can see the insides of my apartment. This is as far as you can take transparency, you know, without filming yourself sitting on the toilet and taking a huge crap. This is as far as transparency goes. You know, if I say something, then I mean it, you know? But if I say it to people who hear completely different things, like I come to you and I say, listen, you know, I'm creating content, I'm trying to raise awareness, I'm trying to also raise money. Then the question is, what would I do with the money? Because money, you know, is like greed connected to it. People see you've got money, they're gonna hate you, they're gonna talk to you, pretend they're your friend, and then they're going to try to turn you into a copy of themselves. You know, it's like somebody wants to go running and he wants me to run with him. What he doesn't understand is I'm no longer 19. However fluid the boundaries are that separate us, especially if we get together and smoke cannabis. You know, I have to be aware of this, that if I meet people and I smoke cannabis with them, then boundaries are being dissolved, and I'm not sure how far that's going to go, you know? I just know that I'm carrying a lot of shit, okay? So, for me at this point, it's actually better to completely let go of the fear I have for other people, because I think it literally makes people angry. Or they are already angry. I mean, I really look, and there are some people who try to get into my family home and to exploit my parents, which is probably my job, you know, but I give something back. I'm a survivor and I'm a fighter. And I meet people who also are fighters or wannabe fighters. You know, what's a wannabe fighter? You know, what do you want to fight against? I meet you and you say, I think I want to go to the army. You know? And you tell me how you're a runner, but you don't run. And I don't want to run with you. You know, I don't want to be Forrest Gump. You know, I'm running in my own direction. I don't want to do what you want me to do. I cannot be managed. I cannot be restrained. And I cannot have boys that feel lost following me around. I don't want to be Peter Pan. And maybe I am already, because if you read the story about Peter Pan, then what you realize is it's a bit corny. Well, first of all, you know, it's like, yeah, I love you. But in the end, he did not really love Wendy. You know, he just loved someone. So who's the lost boys? He's certainly lost. Right? So he's sometimes there and sometimes he's not. And then he takes people, he brings them to his place, but then sometimes he's just gone. So the question is, do the lost boys have a better life in this kind of nirvana, which is a bit of like an in-between world? I mean, it's like a fairyland that's, I mean, kind of in your mind, because if you look at the real world, you know, what's Neverland? What is this place? Does it really exist? Or are you just constructing it in your mind? You know, this, I think, is fairly important to understand. I have no idea. I feel like I'm carrying the fear of people. You know, I go alone to the boulder hall. but other people do not. And I don't want to be used by everyone, you know. It's already too much sometimes to go to the boulder hall and to expose myself to the public, you know, especially with when I have to deal with the contents of my own mind, constantly telling me to stop what I'm doing, to just pack and leave. And the question is, who wants me to pack and leave? I want myself to pack and leave. I'm following a character that is a highly sensitive guy that is dealing with a lot of emotional trauma, and I see him reflected on the outside all the time. So I meet people who I feel aren't really there, but sometimes they push me to do something, but sometimes they just don't exist, you know. And then there's like, oh, this guy is back, and what does it mean, you know? Where did he go? Am I supposed to talk with him? Is that gonna make me a better man? I mean, it certainly toughens me up. And while these situations create a lot of tension, they also free me of tension, and they help me to pay attention. Which is why, what really happened yesterday, I went to the city and I met that old guy who I'm not sure if he's really a person, because to me he looks like some kind of dwarf. Or, okay, now what I'm trying to understand is he's more like an enemy. I mean, I don't really get it. I was trying to feed people with my presence alone, and that just doesn't work. I cannot feed people with my presence alone. I need to give stability to myself first. Now the question is, what does that mean? Is what I'm doing the right choice? Am I supposed to seclude myself and write books? Or am I to spend time with people and waste myself into the idea that, you know, because if they come to spend time, you know, it's like they feel like I need them, which cannot be true. So I'm basically stuck between, you know, I'm trying to build something, but it's hard to find good people. And the people that I find where I think, you know, they could be good. They could be good. This could be something. You know, how did Wim Hof find the people that he found? And is that really what he wanted to do in the end? Or should he have rather just, you know, written books, done his stuff, and not just, you know, not taught anyone anything about ice, you know, what the Ice Age was like, right? I mean, he's showing it to everyone. Your ideas of the Ice Age are a complete lie. You know, we think people ran around, they felt miserable, and they were cold as hell. No, it's the survival of the fittest. So if we're going into an Ice Age, then what we need is strong people. Why do you think he's teaching us that? Do you really think the whole world is able to maintain this overproduction, this overutilization of the resources? I mean, there are going to come times, whether that is now or later, or maybe never. Maybe we will manage. Maybe humanity has always been like this. And what we think the Holy Land is just like, I mean, people are still migrating. I mean, we think, you know, Germans are in Germany and that's their place, you know, they claim it. I mean, what was Germany in the past, you know? People come, people go somewhere else. And then you think, you know, I know nothing until it keeps being there. And until you can prove to me that you can do what it takes. And maybe that's what this was about. Maybe he wanted to show me that he can do these things. But the thing is, you're really young. And you have to make choices that you find hard. But in the end, what you have to do is what you have to do. Because I have to do what I have to do. And sometimes I feel fear, it's just a tension. And if I call it fear, I label it as something bad. But what it actually is, it's just a warning. What's the warning? You know, it's like, I better go to bed, you know, just go back to bed. And what for? I mean, sorry, if I'm just gonna sit around in bed all the time, it's hard to feel like a man. I mean, you cannot just sit around and do nothing all the time. There also have to be times where you leave the house, where you do intense stuff, and where you maybe shit your pants. And whether or not that's the other person, or whether or not that's just part of the game, it's like a play, right? It's like tussling with each other. But I honestly see people that are sick with fear, that are like super thin and skinny, and they seem super angry. And I'm telling myself I have to do these things, and then I make appointments and I think, what the fuck am I doing out here? Why am I here? I don't want to be here. And people just don't get that. I mean, maybe they get it. I mean, I fucking hate this place. But maybe that's just the feeling I am getting from other people. I really think I should stop. Stop. You know, I think we're really trying to build up this place. And then I have an appointment and I'm supposed to go. It's like, I don't trust anybody. I do not trust anybody. And I don't like friends. And then the question is, okay, maybe that's just jealousy. Maybe what I'm feeling is the feelings of a woman, it's possible, that wants me for herself. And I'm not sure how much of myself I want to give to any one person, however random the encounter may be. And you know, if you are dealing with heavy shit, then instead of drinking rum and coke, you should just go for a hike. I mean, I just once in a while open myself to the public, because people are in deep shit, but the answers are all out there. I mean, okay, I had support from family, financial support, but I had to get my shit together on my own. I had help, that's for sure. But if I sit around helping you, I'm just gonna, you know, stand around and be like a gimmick. And I get it, you know, it's really confusing for you if I tell you no. But you see, words are to me a real distraction, because it often, okay, words are actually something that can liberate you, but I spend time with people who lie on such a high level, and there are only a few that are really alive. And when you're really alive, then there may be people that actually want to kill you. And then you say, you know, stop spreading such nonsense. Maybe it's fake. And maybe that's what lesson, you know, what fear is supposed to teach you. What's a Brahman? Well, I can certainly see myself as someone like Siddhartha, who's being described as, you know, looks good, you know, does this, does that. The few days I wore shoes really did a number on my feet. I was trying to lay low, to hide myself, and it weakened me incredibly. This was just 1 week of wearing shoes, of cutting myself off from nature, and that's how long it took to trample me into another depression. And sure, I wanted this. I wanted to see what's going to happen. And the thing is, I'm never allowing, I don't know, there's people that want to have a fight. I don't tussle with angry children. You know, I'm gonna tussle, I don't know, with the woman that is strong enough to be my wife. That's who I'm going to tussle with. And that's the message that I'm trying to send to the world, which is, you know, stop war, make love. Make love. And if you can't find love in yourself, then find it in nature, find it in the forest, go hiking. I mean, after what I experienced yesterday, which is just a battle of the will, a battle of boundaries, you know, a young man trying to find his father in someone that is a complete fabrication. You know, that's the message I'm trying to send him. You know, if I go into the streets and I hide who I really am, but who am I really? Am I this, or am I the guy with the, you know, with the cap? Am I the guy with, you know, this kind of jacket? Because sometimes I do feel really stupid. And if I wear this, and then I meet someone and he says, "What are you wearing?" He's like looking down on me. And then you say, well, is he really? I mean, we had a good time. But if I spend time with another man, you know, and he gets too stuck on, you know, oh, we're gonna be best friends now. Oh, we're going to spend you know, it's like, oh, we're gonna have a sleepover. No, because I'm already living together with a woman that is in my heart. Which is why if I'm alone at home, I want to enjoy my time with my heart connection. And if I go to the boulder hall and I'm gonna meet someone, you know, she may be that. Or maybe she's not it, and I'm just going to get sucked into some kind of bullshit again. I'm really suspicious. I'm really suspicious of everyone, you know? And at least for some time I'm going to stay suspicious, because, you know, if you find something like that you would call the true love or whatever, now it's always, it's fine, you know. What's fine? You know, tell me please, what is fine? Yeah, you can have other women next to me, you know. And then you say, but what if I don't want to? Right? And then the question is, if I sleep with another woman now, is it going to separate me from the woman I thought I wanted? Or is it going to liberate me from her? You know, is separation a bad thing? Separation of genders is a terrible thing. Because the only thing that keeps man in check is a strong woman. And that's what often people don't understand. I want women to be intimidating. Because if there's not a woman around, you know, everybody's just gonna create havoc. But the most women that I meet are just manipulating others, men and women, and then they just gossip behind everybody's back. So what I really want is a woman that can pin me down, you know? That is strong, that says, you know, at least he's not a weakling. Okay, you know, no, I actually want a woman that looks at me and thinks, oh wow, I think he's beautiful, right? You know, maybe, you know, in his own sense. Because there's also my ugly. Not every woman can deal with me. You know, not every woman can deal with me. And now it's just like back to the never never. And then the question is, what is the never never? sometimes I feel like I am traversing through spiritual like pathways that don't exist in this everyday world, you know. I'm trying to move on from this place. I feel stuck here. I feel stuck, but it's at the same time liberating. If I would live in Amsterdam, I would certainly, or not Amsterdam, okay, if I would live in the Netherlands, I'd probably, you know, I'd certainly live close to the ocean. Because I can go into the ocean, I can swim there, and then I can go back. You know, that's actually what I think could be a really good idea for my own life, for my own story. And every time I share one of my, it's a possible dream, but you know, what I really don't want is people that will show up at my home because they think I have something to give to them. You know, that's what I'm trying, because imagine you have a woman, you have a child, and people start showing up at your door. I mean, I've been doing this with some people. But the thing is, I've also contributed. What are you going to contribute? You cannot do shit at the moment. Then I think, do I have to train you? And then maybe the answer is yes. But how? You don't know when to stop. I'm telling you to fucking leave. You're clinging to me for dear life. I'm not your daddy, man. I'm not your father. Just push through, man. I mean, you get sick of your girlfriend and now you want to replace her with me. It's impossible. You know, you want strength, you want stability. My parents are paying my apartment because, I don't know, I failed to see, you know, what is supposed to, I cannot see it, I cannot predict anything anymore. It's completely chaotic. And that's maybe what it means to open up to women, because women don't communicate, you know. It's like everything's kind of mad. And the thing is, if my life becomes too light, too lightful, I like to, you know, like put a pinch of chaos on top of it. And when I meet people and they're too happy, I just start like, you know, because if you're too happy, you're like, oh, everything's good. And if you're too sad, you're like, oh, everything's bad. You say, but where's the middle? Okay, we've had some time together and it was time to leave. And I tried to tell you, you know, and so you wanted me to take you home so that you can feel safe. And you actually managed to get me to do that. So you can tell a story or whatever. But, you know, the safe space is in yourself. I cannot be your safe space. You can listen to me, you can learn from me. I will never be your friend. Please accept this. I will never be your friend. Never, ever. I'm some kind of teacher, and what I teach you is stop faking who you are. Stop faking who you are. Because if you keep lying to me, I have to punch you. And I don't want that. You know, because punching is going to create the distance that I need in order to keep living my own life. And what I did, I just, you know, sometimes I just leave people where they are. I just run away from you. And then your stories about, you know, I'm this, I'm that. You know, people think I've lost it and that I'm crazy. So please understand, you know, what am I doing here? Who was Trungpa Rinpoche? They call it crazy wisdom. He was kind of acknowledged as an enlightened being, but at least he's got support from people who acknowledged him as someone who can teach something. You know, nobody really acknowledges me. And if I try to tell you what to do, you just reject me. Which is why I'm unable to teach people anything when I sit around talking to them. You know, I can only teach people by doing it. You tell me you're a marathon runner, you want to climb mountains, and now you want to go to the army. But when I start running after your 10 half marathons that you've done, you know, I can let you stand and you don't manage to follow me. So what are you trying to tell me? I mean, you want to be a man? You know, it's like what people say to me. You want to be a man? You know, then it says take responsibility, okay? Am I supposed to get a job and work somewhere? Or am I supposed to accept money from my parents? I constantly think I want to get away from here. And I want to get away from you now. But the people won't let me. So that's why I'm creating content on the internet now. I'm starting to understand myself. So that the outside world is trying to support me and pull me away from this place, because this is the devil's pit. I've tried to raise, and now comes the problem, because we have already had such incredible situations together, and I cannot tell you enough, you know, how beautiful that felt. But I'm still not really safe. So where can I feel safe? Can I feel safe here? Because people ask me really weird questions. I don't want to talk with them anymore. And I'm not sure if I should, because if I don't talk to them, they get really angry. So you know what I really want? I just want to get away from here. Just want to get away from here. That's what I want. I wanted to get away from here all my life. And people manage to trap me because they give me food, they give me a bit of money. But basically what they give me is just jack shit. But the food that I received still helped me to let go of my anxiety, take my camera, pick myself up and walk here. So what I really think is that, you know, whatever I'm afraid of is just a projection. All I know is there's fear, and I'm projecting it onto other people, right? And then I think, okay, maybe these experiences I have with other people are really valuable, right? Maybe they are. But you know what? This is also really valuable. I give you the taste of freedom. I give you the, you know, the same experiences that I'm having with you, because I don't feel safe in your presence. I don't know what the fuck you want with me. Because you pride yourself that I spend time with you just because, you know, you just keep telling your stupid lies. And what I do is, you know, if I spend time with people, you know, I steal their lies. And because that's how they define themselves. Because that's what truth is, that's what truth does. Listening to Chris Webby, can you stand listening to him? Because he speaks truth. That's what I believe. What? Also understand, he says it, I'm crazy as fuck. Is that just a projection because people try to give him the feeling that he's crazy? You know, everybody's trying to play mind games. They just feed into each other, you know? They just try to maintain these kind of lies. And I go to the boulder hole and I leave it all there. But I don't. I hike through the rain to cleanse myself from all this terror that people feel inside of themselves. And then the question is, why do they feel it? But because they're trying to hide it. They're trying to act like I'm doing really fine, you know? I'm gonna buy a North Face jacket for 120 euros. You know, and then people are going to like me. Why does nobody want to spend time with me? No, I just told you how it's gonna be. I'm gonna go to the boulder hall tomorrow anyway. And I'm gonna do so. And when you want to come there as an individual, you know, please come there. I have no time to have a party with you. Sorry. Right? And that's the problem I'm having. Am I supposed to have friends? No. If I make an appointment with you on Tuesday, should I be there? Or should I play it safe and just stay at home? How much can I learn from other artists like Chris Webby? How much can I learn? You know, do you really need me to get your life back together? Do we really need to have conversations? Is it my job to talk to you about, you know, that you should drink less alcohol? Why can't you tell it to yourself? You know, because people really don't want to listen. People don't want to listen to anything. I don't want to listen to anything. But I seem to happen to have the ability to break through to people in a certain way. But I also have to say it scares me. I mean, really scares me. Because people are shutting off a lot of shit inside of them. And the hardest part is to, you know, take some of that. And then what are you gonna do with it? It's too much. So I record myself. I take the time to listen. What am I supposed to do? And then it's like, go to the boulder hall, but that scares me. That scares me. So I pay 11 euros so I can boulder it, I can leave it on the wall, and I do that. I could also go and boulder in the forest. And then it said, you know, why don't you do that? Because I also need to network. I need to engage with people. I need to work with people. And the difference is there are people that live in, you know, other places where there's communities that work together, you know, where it's like support groups. I don't have any of that. I'm completely on my own. There's nobody that can tell me what to do. There are people sometimes telling me what to do, like yesterday, you know, I received the message to write a book. But then it's I who has to decide, or he has to feel his way towards what kind of book, and then question, am I ready to write it? Am I ready to write it? Should I just start writing right now? And I think the answer is pretty clear. Just do it, man. You know? And then you say, you know, I actually think it's better to first let go of this art. You know? And then you say, you know, why does somebody tell me I should fast and write a book? And then you realize, I cannot listen to anyone anymore. I cannot listen to anything anyone has to say, because if I come to you, you're just trying to tell me something, and then you want to manage me because I think you're actually a drug dealer who's just trying to act like he's a carpenter, right? Who's trying to act like he's a carpenter. And his real intention is to get me to smoke a lot of weed so that we can, you know, that you can use me so that I can fire my potential, you know, instead of into my art. You know, you want me to make, you know, you don't even think these things through. You know, and maybe you're not a drug dealer. Maybe you're just a random guy. You know, you see, I don't know, man. I think he's a drug dealer because there are people who get people excited over nothing, and then they just use their happiness. That's what old people do. You know, so what I have to learn, and that's my lesson today, is to close myself off, to just climb, to open up to the possibility that I'm going to meet my wife and that she may soothe me or help me or do whatever. But Actually, it's impossible for me at this point. Because I would just be a sucker again. And that's why when I think about, it cannot be my place to go to. Let's just think about it. Am I saying goodbye? Or am I holding on too tightly? I think I'm saying goodbye because I've tried. It's just not working. You should be on your own. You should know how to deal with your own life. You say you're alone, I get that. But so are millions of other people. Am I supposed to stay? Am I supposed to leave? I don't trust anyone, and that's probably the conclusion. I'm looking for security in people, but nobody can give me security. I was trying to be someone that I wasn't. I was trying to be the father or the friend or the whatever. But what I really am is this guy recording himself. I literally hate this place, but then I also like it again. But I just feel like, I don't know, it's either too empty or too full. So the light and the shadow is always, it's a tussle. It's a tussle with anything. And if a woman, if there are things like heart connection and feeding each other over hundreds of kilometers, right? And if sex means anything, then me trying to find another woman should probably startle whatever woman is trying to think, she can get away from me, into finally reaching out to me, because I had nothing more than cowards. And people are running away from their own responsibilities. Like, you've got a child, man. What the fuck are you doing? And now I'm going to face a challenge again, because one of my heart's connections is just here. And there's a possibility that she's trying to talk to me. And then there's the possibility inside me that I'm just gonna refuse. And maybe it's what I need, right? That's what I don't understand. That is what I'm trying to understand. I have times where I have no idea what's real anymore.